President Biden will face no charges in the classified documents case. Are you surprised? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about special counsel recommending no charges be brought against President Biden and the classified documents case. Now, there's a lot to this story. The headline that I just read off is kind of anticlimactic. I think that we all knew this would be the result of it because the special counsel is brought about by the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. So you got your buddy in there investigating you. You're not going to get charged. Presidents don't get charged while they're in office. I think the only person who may have been charged in office is Trump. And if that's incorrect, y'all let me know in the comments below. But I knew this would be the result. So people talking about, oh, well, there's a investigation going on and they might get him. I'm like, okay, whenever President Biden gets charged for this, for having the documents in the garage next to the Corvette, just out in the open, talking to ghostwriters about what's happening in classified things, having the diary next to classified documents, when he gets charged for that, wake me up. But I knew from the beginning he wouldn't get charged. However, there's a lot in this discovery. There's some things that you probably didn't know, things you may have suspected, but you didn't really know, at least not to this level. Okay, so what we're going to do, we have articles, we got videos, we got a lot, and I will place everything for you guys to be able to look through for yourself in the box. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. First things first, here's an article from New York Times. Special counsel seeks no criminal charges in Biden's classified records case. That's pretty interesting. Why don't they call it classified documents? Because I think normally the media will say classified documents when it comes to Trump. But when it comes to Biden, they got to try and change it up a little bit. That's just me wearing my tinfoil hat, so pardon me. But anyway, the inquiry found that the president had willfully retained material after finishing his term as vice president and had shared sensitive information with a ghostwriter. There's two things right there. First of all, if you are the president, you're able to take documents home with you. You have that right. The vice president does not have that right. So automatically, that's a violation. Why is he not being charged? That is a violation right away. And then you shared information with the ghostwriter that's sensitive. And when they say sensitive, does that mean classified? Does that mean top secret? I'm not quite sure. You see how they play with language? But if you're writing the book and you're telling the writer of the book some things you shouldn't be telling them, that's a charge right there. But no charges. It's all good. You're going to be kind of floored when you hear how they describe this man, talking about he's a nice elderly old man who is kind of losing his memory, all this, that, and the third. Oh, okay. You called him a nice elderly old man in 2017 when some other documents were found that we didn't know about till right now. You said he was a nice elderly man losing his memory, but we're now in 2024 and he's going to be the president again. And during his second term, if he was to get elected, God forbid, which is not going to happen, it would have been 10 years since you said that he was an elderly old man with a bad memory. Now, let's keep on going. There's a lot we got to get into. Now, here is the garage in Delaware with documents just out in the open. Now, remember the young lady from Texas talking about Trump had documents in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago and the SHI, you know, the rest, and they shouldn't have been there. And that's the reason why we should charge them for mishandling classified documents. Well, we have these documents in the garage. They do not appear to be too safe to me. This is classified Afghanistan documents, from back in 2022. All right. So not too long ago, about a year and a half, about 14 months ago, these documents are found. I'm not quite sure if that's by the Corvette, and I'm not quite sure why this picture looks to be from 1975, but it is in fact from 2022. All right. Now, this is something right here we need to really get into. They're talking about the memory. I'm going to read this right here. In his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended. If it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president? And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. In 2009, am I still vice president? He did not remember, even within several years, when his son Beau died. So he knew he died, but he didn't know when he died. And they said within several years. So within that period of time, he had no idea when he died. And his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl Eikenberry, when in fact, Eikenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. This guy, this is back in, I think, 2017 when they were talking to him. His memory was bad back then, didn't even know it was when he was the vice president, and you're wondering why he's stumbling and bumbling and carrying on right now in 2024. Obviously, he's been in a steep cognitive decline for a very long time, but I don't want to waste too much time, so let's keep on moving. And there's more here. All right, there's more. Let me see. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden knew he had possession of the classified Afghanistan documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents, knowing he was violating the law, we expect that at trials, attorneys will emphasize these limitations and recall. We also expect many jurors to be struck by the place where the Afghanistan documents were ultimately found in Mr. Biden's Delaware home, in the badly damaged box in the garage, near a collapsed dog crate, a dog bed, a Zappos box, an empty bucket, a broken lamp wrapped with duct tape, pot and soil, and synthetic firewood, highly flammable. Now let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Here are some examples of the federales policing themselves. James Comey classified Hillary Clinton emails were forwarded to Anthony Weiner. Nothing happened there. Here's something else. Presidential records found right in Clinton's drawer, and classified Biden documents found in the Delaware garage next to the Corvette. So I think that might have been the garage we just looked at in that 1908 style picture. Let's look at this right here. And again, everything that I'm talking about right now will be in the box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this.
Hey everyone, we're coming on the air with breaking news. A long-awaited report has just been released about President Biden's handling of classified documents that were found at his home and office. This follows a year-long investigation by special counsel Robert Hur into just how those documents, many of which appear to be from Mr. Biden's time in the Obama administration, got stored there and why. This investigation separate from the case against former President Trump, who has been charged for allegedly mishandling classified documents. The White House says President Biden voluntarily returned the documents and cooperated with the investigation. Ken Delaney.
Now, that's going to be the thing they hang their hat on. They're going to say that he voluntarily handed the documents over and he was cooperating with the investigation. And they're going to say that Trump didn't do it, and that's the difference. But there's another difference. Difference is that Trump had the ability to take documents and declassify them as a president. And even if all the I's were not dotted and the T's weren't crossed in that process, he was still the former president. He has that ability to do so, and the vice president does not. So we're giving grace to one, not the other. It's kind of crazy, but you're not surprised, are you?
And as NBC's Justice and Intelligence correspondent, Ken, what does the report find?
Lester, special counsel Robert Hur found that President Biden did willfully retain and disclose classified information, which is a crime, but ultimately decided that criminal charges are not warranted in this case. And he said that that would be true despite the Justice Department's policy that a sitting president can't be charged.
Now, if it's a crime and they're not going to charge him, then why are you charging Donald Trump? What crime did Trump actually commit, refusing to hand over the documents that he could have in his possession as a president?
In other words, even if that policy wasn't in place, Mr. Hur would have recommended no criminal charges against the former president. Nonetheless, there are some significant findings in here, the most alarming of which is that the special counsel found that then Vice President Biden discussed finding classified documents at a home he was using in Virginia in 2017 in a recording with a ghostwriter who was working on his memoir. And the special counsel concluded that those were likely the same documents that the FBI found in Mr. Biden's home in Delaware in 2022. And that was a significant
people, old man with a bad memory, but I had documents I took from DC when I was a vice president and when it was illegal to do so in Virginia, not too far from DC. And then I moved those documents from the Virginia home to the Delaware home right next to the Corvette.
Significant fact, an incriminating fact, but the special counsel also found that Mr. Biden may well have forgotten about that incident and that it would be, in any case, very difficult to prove a criminal case. And I just want to read you a very telling passage. Mr. Hur's team wrote, "We've also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview with him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory." And he said that based on our direct interactions and observations of him, he is someone for whom many jurors will want to identify reasonable doubt. So in other words, they found that while Mr. Biden did willfully retain this classified information, it's unlikely they could win a conviction, and it wouldn't even be in the interest of justice. And I should say, Lester, that this report makes a point of distinguishing this Biden case from the Trump case.
Here we go.
It says that, its role is not to evaluate the prosecution of Mr. Trump, but based on the plain facts, there are several distinguishing features, namely that Mr. Trump refused to hand over classified documents that were requested, and he's accused of obstructing justice by ordering subordinates to destroy evidence and then lie about it. So Rob Hur, a special counsel who is a longtime Republican appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland, saying there's a clear distinction between the conduct of President Biden and the conduct of Mr. Trump. The other significant thing I want to communicate to you is that the main classified documents that Mr. Biden apparently withheld and kept at his home had to do with his role in the debate over surging troops to Afghanistan.
Okay, I pretty much already covered that. I will link to the rest of this video in the box, but I cut it right there for the sake of time. So that's what's happening. No charges for Biden in the classified documents case. And I don't think that anybody expected him to really be charged, really, by Merrick Garland, the DOJ, when he's in office as a president on the left, when everything in DC is controlled by the left, uniparty. That ain't gonna, the whole thing about Trump, as I close, was trying to find something to get him on. Something. They were wiretapping with the federales, Russia. That didn't work. Then, okay, before that, it was Stormy Daniels. Now we got stuff going on in New York City and Fulton County, Georgia, with the fornicating DA, Fani Willis, fornicating Fani. You got all this stuff going on. People have their ulterior motives to try and get Trump locked up or jammed up on something, none of which have anything to do with actual justice. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you surprised at the result of this particular case? Are you not surprised? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not surprised at all. This was a nothing burger from the very beginning. It should be something because he did do a thing he shouldn't have done. They said that he violated the law. They said it right there. It's not me saying it. So those may want to say, oh, well, you just don't like Joe Biden. You just love Trump. They said he violated the law, but it's fine if you're President Biden. But if you are President Trump and they think you might have kind of violated the law, then they're going to try to get you up under the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. But you're Joe Biden. You're on the left. You are down with the team. You can do whatever you want. Just like his son who smoked crack and had a pistol when he shouldn't have had the pistol, won't face any jail time, went to the deposition or whenever that was about him with his lawyers, late and left early, and nobody did a thing. That's what's going on right now in Washington, D.C. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.